Welcome to Cozy Noah Vibes, the perfect place to unwind, get ready for a restful sleep. I'm Noah, and it's my pleasure to be your host tonight. If you've been following our seasonal visits to the mountain cabin, you'll be familiar with our character, Sarah, and her cozy home. If not, you can always go back and listen to our spring, summer, and winter stories another time. Tonight, we'll complete the collection by spending a cozy autumn day with Sarah as she watches the falling leaves, bakes pumpkin cookies, and reads in her living room by the crackling fireplace. For our premium subscribers, tomorrow night, you'll be able to hear a special long play episode of both autumn and winter at the mountain cabin, stitched together into one relaxing story. Okay, friends, I hope you're feeling calm and relaxed, ready for a good night's rest. It's a true pleasure to have your company here tonight. Listening to Cozy Noah Vibes is a really healthy and positive thing you're doing for yourself. So long as you've put any devices and distractions to one side. Now just lay comfortably in bed, drawing in a nice deep breath and exhaling slowly and smoothly, allowing your eyes to gently close as you do. Breathe in again and let the exhale extend out a little longer than the inhale, slowing down your body's natural rhythms, relaxing your nervous system, and in turn, easing the pace and dissonance of your mind, simply by inviting relaxation in this way. You're already giving yourself a chance to rest. You don't need to panic about getting to sleep or force the process in any way. You're already recharging your body in this gentle state of peace and rest. So continue to breathe in a comfortable, relaxing rhythm while you listen along to our story. Just like a gently falling leaf in autumn, you can come to rest in a soft place and invite sleep to come naturally. Let's join Sarah at her mountain cabin on a peaceful autumn day. The crisp air quietly whistles through the tree branches, which sway in harmony outside Sarah's cabin. It's autumn now, her most treasured time of the year. She is nestled in a rocking chair, legs lifted up onto the wooden railing as she sits outside on her balcony, admiring the gloomy autumnal scenery before her. The fast, big drop in temperature after another scorching hot summer sends happiness coursing through Sarah's body. Now the leaves have begun to change, and Sarah is at the very heart of her favorite season. Dressed for warmth, Sarah is wearing long, cozy trousers and luxurious, soft mohair jumper she knitted last spring. Her shoes sit on the wooden floorboards in front of her, and her feet are bare. She can feel the breeze moving in between her toes. Earlier, she prepared a fresh chai latte using spices gathered from both her neighbors and her own back garden. She also used stoat milk that she'd made yesterday morning after a long, quiet walk in the forest. That walk was wonderful, Sarah remembers, with leaves crunching beneath the soles of her shoes. She combined all the ingredients, adding a spoonful of honey to sweeten it. Now the warm beverage sits on the table next to her, its spicy sweet aroma wafting up into the air. Next to the latte is a paperback book. Sarah has it turned page side down as she's taking a reading break to admire the autumn views. The sky is a bright shade of gray and white, as if the clouds have all joined forces to hide the sun that radiates behind them. The air out here smells of a coming rain. Sarah thinks as she takes a sip of her chai latte. Luckily, the roof of Sarah's cabin stretches out over the balcony, and a set of stairs leads down to the ground. So if it starts to drizzle, Sarah will stay comfortably dry right where she is. As she looks back out at the view, she can see the green pine trees intertwining with a sea of other trees boasting their autumn hues, shades of burnt orange, deep yellow, mahogany, and crimson scattered throughout the forest. To Sarah, it's the most beautiful time of autumn, when the leaves are slowly falling, but the trees themselves are still bushy and full. As the wind continues to rustle the trees, bundles of leaves spin around and dance together harmoniously. It reminds Sarah of ballet. Her eyes follow the dancing leaves, and in her mind, she's at the theater. Curtains are drawn, and the leaves are center stage, giving another timeless performance of the season. Soon they fall elegantly to the ground, and the audience gives a standing ovation. The view from Sarah's balcony has many layers. First, there is a hilltop meadow, which she can reach quickly by descending the staircase next to her. From there, the terrain transforms into a deep forest, with spectacular walking paths that led to quaint mountain streams and moss-covered boulders. There are also shortcuts she can take to visit some of her neighbors. The houses in her village are all generously spaced out, so Sarah often feels she has the whole world to herself. Then, behind the forest are layers of mountains that blend together in various shades of blue. Sarah always finds this view captivating, even on a gray afternoon like this one. Soon Sarah will return to the warmth of her cabin and prepare a batch of pumpkin chocolate chip cookies in her kitchen down the hall. But for now, she remains with her feet kicked up, drinking from her warm mug and embracing the autumn air. She lifts the mug to her mouth, closes her eyes, and takes a big, generous breath into her nose before enjoying another smooth sip of her chai latte. She remains like this for a moment, cupping her drink to warm her hands. The moment has completely taken her away from the book she was reading. Sarah doesn't mind. She will have plenty of time to read this evening. She knows. After just a few more minutes, Sarah lifts her feet off the railing and slips them into a pair of fuzzy house slippers. With the mug in her hand and her book squeezed between her arm and side, she walks across her balcony, looking down at several pumpkins she has placed for decoration. Then, she slowly pulls open her with the stained glass. As usual, it creaks just slightly as she opens it. She always thinks she should fix it but never does. At this point, the gentle creaking sound is both familiar and comforting to Sarah. Walking inside, she feels the warmth of the fireplace in the living room just to her right. It is a beautiful brick-covered fireplace with logs assembled inside, crackling every so often. Today is only the second day she has used it this season, and she is stirred, admiring the wonderful smell of burning wood. She rarely uses scented candles during the colder seasons. Why would she, when the fireplace and her baked goods create the most tantalizing scents all on their own? She takes one final sip of her chai latte, feeling the warmth of it glide down her throat. Then she places it on a coaster on her credenza, along with her book. Now she feels ready to bake her favorite autumn cookies. Her grandma loved these particular cookies just as much as she does, and whenever Sarah makes them, she always follows the family recipe. She walks down the hallway, soon arriving at her kitchen. She draws open the curtains above her sink, bringing in a bit of light to complement what's coming in through the windows of her back door to the right. The room is airy but nonetheless still a bit dark, so she flicks on one of the tall standing lamps located at the edge of the kitchen. Sarah then moves over to her quaint square dining table. It is situated in the left corner closest to the hallway. On it is a small beige lamp and a stack of books. Both are pressed against the wall, with only enough room at the table for 2 diners. She pulls down the beaded cord to turn on the lamp's yellow-tinted light. Much better, she thinks as she looks around. Next, Sarah heads over to the kitchen sink. She flicks on the faucet. The old pipes clink slightly before fresh warm water flows from the tap. She presses down on the nozzle of a glass bottle of hand soap. The luxurious scents of vetiver and amber billowing onto her hands. She takes a relaxing moment to wash them, moving the soap between her thumb and fingers before she rinses the suds down the drain. Now with freshly washed and moisturized hands, Sarah feels even more relaxed than before. She is ready to prepare the pumpkin-flavored treats. She first turns on the oven to preheat it. Then she crouches down to grab a baking sheet from the cupboard near the sink. Her recipe involves several ingredients: eggs, brown sugar, pumpkin puree, and chocolate chips. Sarah tugs open her refrigerator, gathering all the necessary ingredients. The eggs came from one of her neighbors down the road, George. He has nearly a dozen chickens and plenty of eggs to spare. He came over for coffee just the other day, bringing her several as a thank you for inviting him. Sarah loves this way of life, where people think of one another and always give back. Of course, she would never come to his place empty-handed either. She places the eggs and other ingredients on the counter next to a wooden chopping board. Then she opens up her spice cabinet and finds her homemade jar of autumn spice. The delicious blend of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, cloves, and cardamom. Sarah opens the last cupboard and finds a jar of dark chocolate chips nestled behind a bag of fluffy marshmallows. She slides open a drawer just to her right. Inside are miscellaneous cooking items, including parchment paper. Sarah pulls out a layer of paper long enough to cover the baking sheet. It makes a crackling sound as she spreads it across the metal tray. She needs just a couple more things, like 2 large bowls for mixing wet ingredients, her wooden spoon, and a spatula. Finally, Sarah has everything she needs. She rolls up her sleeves and gets started. She first combines the dry ingredients into the bowl before mixing the eggs and pumpkin puree into the other. The earthy scent of the pumpkin puree blends with the robust autumn spices, making Sarah smile as she continues to whisk everything together. She stirs in the melted butter until all the ingredients are well combined. Next, she folds in the chocolate chips, ensuring they are evenly distributed throughout the batter. With her dough ready, she uses her wooden spoon to scoop out small portions, shaping them into rounded balls. She places each one onto the parchment-lined baking sheet, leaving enough space between each cookie so they can expand as they bake. When the tray is full, Sarah carefully places it into the preheated oven. As the cookies bake, the aroma of pumpkin and spices fills the kitchen and drifts into the rest of the house. Sarah tidies up the kitchen while she waits, glancing out the window from time to enjoy the view of the autumn landscape. After about 15 minutes, she checks on the cookies, which have turned a lovely golden brown. Sarah takes the tray out of the oven and lets the cookies cool on a wire rack. She can hardly wait to try one, but she knows they will taste even better once they've cooled a bit. The cookies are soft and chewy, with a perfect blend of pumpkin and chocolate. She smiles, thinking of how much her grandma loved these cookies and how proud she would be to see Sarah continuing the tradition. Sarah places the cooled cookies into a jar, setting it on the kitchen counter. She feels a sense of accomplishment and contentment. This autumn day has been everything she hoped for: peaceful, cozy, and filled with the simple pleasures of life. And here we end our warm autumn cabin story. I hope this story has brought you peace and comfort, helping you to relax and prepare for a good night's sleep. Thank you for listening to Cozy Noah Vibes. We look forward to having you join us again. Wishing you a wonderful night and sweet dreams.